Aion Renewal is the armor set for Kepler, and its two-piece set bonus is Force Converter. After a final blow with any rocket or grenade launcher, sprint for a short time to gain Speed Booster. My first impressions of this were, okay, it's a fine two-set bonus, but I was a bit confused on why this was specifically the Kepler set bonus, mainly because when looking at the weapons, we have an auto rifle, a hand cannon, a machine gun, a pulse rifle, a scout rifle, and a shotgun, none of which are grenade launchers or rockets, at least on first glance. However, upon reading the origin trait, Exhaustive Research, aiming down sights at a target for a short time loads a homing micro rocket. Things started to click a little bit more. So if we do a bit of real world testing here, I'm holding down ADS with the shotgun, I load it in that micro rocket, boom, one click, I kill the drag. And if I take a look at my buff bar, I do indeed have Force Converter. In about 2.5 seconds, I have gotten the speed boost buff. So upon confirming that, I'm like, okay, well, that's clearly how you're meant to use the weapon. The biggest issue I have with the perk is how long it actually takes to load in that micro rocket. Sure, you're only holding down right click for like 1.5 to 2 seconds, but like in the heat of combat, just to shoot a micro rocket, which at higher level difficulties, specifically mythic, won't actually kill an enemy in one shot, or technically a red bar in one shot, it's a little bit weak, so I would like to see the damage scaling on this micro rocket increase. However, this does now make every single Kepler weapon available to activate the Kepler set bonus buff, which makes a lot of sense. Upon completing the Kepler mythic missions, you're then able to get the Aion adapter set. And the two-piece here, Force Absorption, reads, final blows at any rocket or grenade launcher temporarily decrease incoming area effect damage. So theoretically, you can pair a two-piece of the 2.0 armor with the two-piece of the 1.0 armor, and you'll be able to trigger both of them with just, any of the Kepler weapons. Of course, I got to thinking and was like, well, what other rocket weapons do we have? So the very obvious next weapon that I thought to test was obviously a rocket sidearm. I mean, come on, boom, one shot. Indeed, it does count as a rocket and a Force Converter, and after 2.5 seconds, we get Speed Booster. Another weapon I thought to test out was the Neomuna weapon, specifically this roll of the Epochal integration I have. All right, let's drop down here. Let's try to not miss every single shot. Amazing. Boom, and that counted as a rocket kill. Indeed, I'm not exactly sure on how many kills or how many shots it takes with the Epochal integration specifically, but it probably is, like 6-ish shots, but it does count as a rocket for Force Converter, and thus I now have Speed Booster. Another weapon I thought to test was obviously the Quicksilver Storm, as shooting it or holding down fire, and I'm pretty sure it's just precision shots. Nope, it's not even precision shots, it's just hits, will indeed cause... Okay, well, these ads are a little bit too weak. They're a little bit too easy. Mythic, a little bit too hard because it's kind of hard to secure the rocket kill, to be honest, on Mythic difficulty. But I do have Force Converter, and the Force Converter buff does seem to stay on you for quite a while, and then that does indeed convert to Speed Booster, of course. And of course, you even have Quicksilver Storm, the grenades. Obviously, that counts because, they're grenades, which is good. Luckily for us, the fine folks at the Destiny Data Compendium have gone ahead and done quite a bit of testing for us. So the missiles that work are the Quicksilver Storm's rocket tracer, which I tested, the nanotech tracer rounds, which I tested, the Exhaustive Research rockets, which I tested, rocket frames, which I tested, Grand Overture missiles, which I didn't test, but they do shoot missiles, and the Hazardous Propulsion Exodus rockets for the Titan chest piece. Now, I have buried the lead a little bit by not even mentioning what Speed Booster does, but Speed Booster as a buff maximizes our movement speed, increases our slide distance by 50%, increases our jump height by 25%, and most importantly, gives us a 15% damage resistance against combatants. So the Speed Booster 15% damage resistance combined with something like the two-piece Aion adapter damage resistance, which gives us a 20% area effect damage resist and 60% explosive self-damage resist for 15 seconds, you can see how the damage resistance starts building up, especially once you start considering things like the very questionable tier bonus damage resistance that you get for new gear armor. Most people will probably be triggering this effect by using a rocket sidearm, which, there's even a new solar one that drops from Crucible. And the Kepler weapons are pretty generically decent, and they have, the origin trait, which fires off a micro rocket. I wouldn't be surprised to see a two-piece of Aion Renewal combined with a two-piece of Aion Adapter as being your armor set becomes more common. And if we get more rocket frames, these will only scale even better. So it's kind of pretty crazy once you actually figure out how that synergy works. Now, clearly the fine folks at the Destiny Data Compendium have already tested all this for us, but I don't think most of the Destiny player base is even knows of Destiny Data Compendium, let alone reads it. So because I didn't see any video on this on YouTube, like when I searched up, I decided that, you know, I should be the bearer of this information. So let me know if you have any other questions. I'll try my best to answer them, but I'm still, you know, not exactly at an expert level in this game. There's still so much I need to learn. But perhaps if you do have a question, I can actually research what that question is, and I'll be able to learn from that. So leave a comment down below if you do have any questions. Cheers.